What's up, YouTubers? This is my third recap video. I'm going to basically probably try and do all my recap videos today just to get them out of the way. And this is going to be a Full Sail for the course English Composition 1, and basically my thoughts on the course and whatnot. But before I get into this, one of the main reasons why I actually decided to go to college, because you don't really need a degree if you want to become a writer, whether that's for comic books, screenplays, novels, etc., etc. You don't need an actual degree. I would even go as far as to say that a degree doesn't really actually help you get a job within itself, kind of like the military. Joining the military and their advertisements that they have, and talking to various people saying how it'll be relatively easy for you to get a job once you're out of the military, that's a blatant BS lie. I mean, it's going to be just as hard as if you didn't go to the military, and most people don't really even care that you had military experience. You know, people thank you when you're in the military, but once you're out, it's a completely different story. It's the complete backward. Basically, who cares? So this is the same concept when it comes to writing within itself with a degree. It's not necessarily needed, and it may not really get, you know, the attention of a publisher, maybe an editor or a producer if you wanted to like do a screenplay or something. But other than that, I mostly decided to do it to kind of revise and, you know, refresh my memory on grammar, because even in high school my English teacher said that I had a bad tendency to overuse commas, incorrectly use commas, and I still do it even now. Even though I have an English book and I've read the description of how to use a comma over and over again, I still get it wrong. It just won't stick in my head. So yeah, this is English Compositions 1, which is the course. It's basically designed to introduce students to the writing process, and of course selecting and refining topics, identifying the audience. They also give you a little bit of information of like APA formatting. They kind of introduce you to that a little bit. You'll have various classes and courses and instructors that will actually continue to take this and beat this APA in you later on. And in fact, one course, at least for the degree I'm taking, it seems to be a very prominent thing within it. So some of the assignments that I had, for example, was How I Write, which was basically an essay that I had to write up that basically talks about how I write. Simple things like professional emails, and of course plagiarism. You know, do I understand plagiarism? That type of thing. You know, in week 2, the power of the voice, which is what we did. I don't actually quite remember it, but I think it had to do with dialogue, but I'm not 100% sure because it's been like weeks and whatnot. And then in week 3, we had to go and redo a vision, you know, for like a culture, that type thing, and I went and I, you know, basically did it. And let's see, the assignment was pop culture, heroes come in all sizes, and this was basically an essay, the movie Willow, and I just kind of went over, talked about it a little bit, and that was the whole point of the essay. I found it relatively simple. Overall, the main reason for this is when it came to grading, though, there really wasn't this like in-depth look at like what you would do wrong. You know, for example, the instructors have the ability to leave notes, and I have found that many instructors, they will tell you, well, this was wrong, there was a few grammatical errors, the wrong word usage, but they don't actually go into detail in the essence like in high school when you turned in an essay and you would get that essay back and it would have all these notes on it of like, you know, corrections. Well, this is where a comma should be, this comma doesn't go there. You know, there should be a semicolon, not a colon, that type of thing. If you use the wrong word, this word doesn't make any sense, probably one of these. It really doesn't have that same feel, not just in English composition, but in just about almost every other class I've taken so far. I would have to say that the worst thing about Full Sail is their grading method, simply because you know, the whole point of doing something is that you learn from your mistakes. But if all you do is tell me, oh, you got a few grammatical errors, and you used incorrect words, you know, they don't make sense with your essay or your story, it's like, all right, so why are you telling me this? Shouldn't you be like showing me this, kind of like in high school when the teacher would give you back your essay, like I just said. So in the essence of learning from your mistakes, that really, it doesn't seem to be a major thing, especially in the online area. Probably you have that feel in the actual classroom, sitting down. I'm sure you get your essay, your story back, and it'd have all the, you know, marks on it for what you did wrong, and you could learn from your mistakes. But that same feeling is a complete lack of here. And in English Composition 1, there really wasn't that much going on in that direction. There was basically, well, this is what you got wrong, you know, grammatical errors, that type of thing. But it wasn't like, all right, check it out. Here is your essay. This is what you got incorrectly. So I found a massive lack of that within this class, and you know, this is something that I'll probably touch on again in future classes as well, because this is a very prominent thing I've noticed within taking classes online at Full Sail University, is the lack of instructors actually being like, all right, you turned in your assignment, here's your assignment, you know, with all their little marks and whatnot on it. Probably a little harder to do on the internet, but at the same time, you know, whether you use like a Word document, you can highlight and change the color, you could double space it, you know, there's various things that they could even do to actually implement this concept of, instead of just telling me what I did wrong, tell me and show me what I did wrong. That way, you know, I have this experience of learning from it, instead of just being like, all right, I have no clue what they're talking about when they say there's grammatical errors. You know, I went over it myself, proofread it, I didn't see anything, so obviously they saw something that I didn't catch. So that's like my quick thoughts on the English Composition 1. You know, the assignments were relatively simple. They made sense for what the course was at. But when it came down to the essence of being an English course, they really didn't go in depth and like, all right, this is what you got wrong. This is what you should fix. This is what you need to work on, that type of thing. I see a massive lack of this for almost every Full Sail class that I've already done. And you think in a class that's English composition or English in general, that there would be this very big drive to actually want to show you what you did wrong. So that was kind of a negative thing on me for Full Sail's you know, English Composition 1 class for the bachelor degree, creative writing for entertainment.